Hello, Michelle here with My Designs in the Chaos, where it's my goal to develop, encourage, and grow your crafting talent and confidence. And I am live today on episode number 8 in our 30 days of the Daily Dose of Design. So if you're here, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments. And if you're watching this on the replay, let me know that in the comments as well. As always, if you have a question as we go, feel free to leave it in the comments and I will circle back around to it if I don't see it on the live. Or feel free to shoot me an email at info@mydesignsandthechaos.com, because that's where all of these questions that I'm answering during our daily dose of design, that's where they're coming from. They're coming from you guys. So good morning, Michelle. I'm so glad that you're here. Great. I'm so glad y'all can hear me and we are good to go. So today for episode number 8, I want to talk about the easiest way to learn how to design. The absolute easiest way. I have taught hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people how to design their own SVG files. And so I have a tried and true process that I walk every single student through. And so I want to talk about that a little bit today in our Daily Dose of Design, episode number 8. Again, if you have a question that you want answered during our Daily Dose of Design, make sure to send it over via email, info@mydesignsandthechaos.com. And if you're curious, well, what type of SVG files do you actually create? Feel free to check out our website, mydesignsandthechaos.com, where we kind of highlight and have tons and tons of freebies for you to be able to check out. So today, I'm talking about the easiest way to learn to design. Now, really, this process applies for no matter what program you use. Earlier on in our Daily Dose of Design, we talked about some different softwares that you can actually use to learn how to design SVG files. There's tons of options in regards to that. And this process that I use goes for any type of software that you are trying to learn. And not necessarily even just software. It could also be a skill that you're trying to learn or something new that you're trying to learn. Okay. This is the process that has been found the most successful for me. So again, no matter what program you use, this is the quickest, easiest way to be able to learn how to design. Now, when you're learning how to design your own files, there's so many different layers to it. We all see the end goal of the final SVG and say, that's it. That's what I want to learn how to do. But the reality is that's a process, right? There's a lot of other things that we have to learn before we can just create this finished product. We have to know, where do we get the fonts? Where do we get the software program? How do we get the software program on our computer? What types of things do we do inside the software program to make sure that this turns into an SVG? How do we make it cuttable on our machine? There's a whole bunch of different layers to learning how to design, okay? There's the software, there's what are all the buttons, what do they do, there's the style, there's a whole bunch of layers. And at first it can feel super overwhelming. And again, this goes for any new skill that you're trying to learn. It feels like, oh my gosh, there's so many different things to do. So I want to tell you today my tried and true process. It's a 3-step process for really anything that you want to learn, but I'm going to specifically be talking about it in regards to designing SVG files. So step number 1 that you need to do is, I call it I do. And that means that you are watching whoever it is you're watching to learn how to design. So this could be, maybe you decide to go on a YouTube video. Maybe you decide to take my program. Maybe you're taking something else. But what you're going to do, the first step is I do. So you're going to watch that teacher complete or do whatever it is that they are trying to teach you how to do. This is where the information is introduced to you. And again, I'm using this in reference to my programs. I can't speak for any other programs because I don't know those, but I speak for mine. So in every single program that I do, I say I do first. So I want you to watch and absorb the information, because when you're watching it for the first time, just like you're kind of watching here now, you're absorbing all kinds of information. You're learning about software, you're learning about abbreviations, you're learning about what do you use. There's a whole bunch of different things that you're learning in regards to it. So that's step number 1 is I do. You want to watch the teacher complete whatever the item is. Okay, so that's the easiest way when you're getting started because you're just absorbing all this information. Now, for some people, you can watch it one time and you're ready to move on to the next step. For some people, you want to watch it multiple times to see all the things that you can absorb. The cool thing about that is, depending on where you are in this process, you might watch it the first time, move on to step two, move on to step three, then come back and watch it again and pick up something entirely new. So it's kind of cyclical, it goes in a cycle. Okay. So, step number one is I do. You're introduced to the information. Step number two is we are going to do it together. So, for this step in the process, I strongly encourage that you have either a tablet or a phone or a second computer, or a lot of times it's just your phone, like your computer is here and you have your phone here. You're watching on your phone or your tablet or another device as you are doing it with me on your computer. When you do that, it takes it to a whole nother level because you're no longer just sitting there watching, you're actually completing it with me. And again, I encourage this in all of my programs. It's the best way to learn and process new information. So that's number two. That's we do. We're doing it together. And in this stage, of the learning process, you're actually building muscle memory here. So you're kind of watching, like, oh, it looks like you clicked here. Oh, it looks like you clicked here. And then you're building that muscle memory on your own, in your own skill set, on your own software, saying, okay, now I have to click here. Now I have to do this. And so it's a we do. I like to call it we do. So that way you're walking through the steps with me and you're building that muscle memory. Again, this is absolutely the best way to learn to design. You watch it first, you absorb the information. That's I do. Second step is we do. So you're doing it with me. And again, this is for any new skill that you're trying to learn. I'm talking about it in regards to SVG files, but that's we do. You're building the muscle memory so that you know what is the next step without always having to click on the next thing or watch it exactly. Okay. And so that's step two is we do. Step number three, and this can sometimes be the scariest part, is you do. So rather than pushing play on the video and doing it with me and watching each step, now you have some muscle memory for you to go and design it completely on your own. And you're going to start small with this. This is, like I said, it's cyclical. So you might watch step one, you do it together with me, then you do it by yourself, and then you go back and do the second layer, and then you add in something more complex. And on step number three, where it's you do, this is where you have some muscle memory in place. You're starting to be comfortable in whatever the new skill is that you're learning, and you start adding in your own designs and your own creativity. And that's where the fun starts coming in because it's like, oh yeah, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. And you start adding in your own style. So I always get asked, why do you have so many alumni who take the class or take your program a second time? Was it not good enough the first time? Or did they really need to go through it again? And I know that there's probably some alumni who are watching right now. I would love it if you shared in the comments if you've taken it a second time. But the reality is, because this process is cyclical, when you go through this process, once you've gone through the information, it's been introduced to you again, the thing is, you get all new information, right? So what you see on I do, we do, you do the first time around is totally different than what you see on I do, we do, you do the second time around. Okay. And so Trish says she does it over and over and over to commit it to memory. And she uses lots of post-it notes. That's my kind of gal. I love post-it notes too. As you can see, I have them everywhere of all sizes. So, yes. So the thing is that this tried and true process, though, of I do, we do, you do, is so helpful, again, on any skill that you're learning because it's cyclical. So you do it the first time, and then as you come through a second time, you're going to be like, oh, I didn't see that, or oh, I didn't realize that. And you're able to go deeper in whatever it is that you're learning. Okay. And so, and again, this doesn't just go, I'm talking about it in regards to learning how to design SVG files, but really, this is any new skill that you are trying out. So, step one, watch the instructor. Step number two, do it with the instructor. And step number three, let yourself have some permission to try it on your own, even if it takes you a little bit longer. And then continue this process over and over. And that's where you'll really start to see growth. Okay. So I hope that you guys have a fabulous day. And I look forward to seeing you guys back for episode number 9. Have a great one. If you found value in this, make sure to give it a little bit of love around Facebook. And if you want these in your inbox every single day, make sure to sign up at the link below or the link above, depending on what platform you're watching this on. I'll see you guys soon and have a great one. Bye.